Hey guys, 7th here. Sorry there was no video last week. Had a bit of a mishap. Long story short, my laptop shorted out. Went to hit the power button, cooling fan came on, lights came on, no operating system, no booting the POST, nothing. It wouldn't even load the BIOS. It would just sit there and spin the cooling fan. So it burned out. So I ordered a new laptop and popped the old hard drive out, stuck it in a USB cradle for laptop hard drives, got all the data off of it, bought me a copy of Sony Vegas and some other apps that I wanted, and I'm in the process of setting that all up on the new laptop. Sorry I'm not in my usual redneck attire. I just got off work, so I'm semi-professional right now, so you'll have to bear with me on that. Been getting a lot of questions about collecting, and so I thought I would do a cover two topics in one video. Those topics being the most recent pickups that I've made, because that's a question that I get a lot too, and some general tips for people that want to get into retro game collecting. So first we'll cover the pickups. One of the biggest complaints about my reviews is the audio, that there was a lot of pops, a lot of hissing, and that's because I was recording it with a PC headset with a microphone. And I was just moving the microphone up here to reduce the amount of popping and hissing. Wasn't really doing the job. Now of course Vegas has a lot of noise reduction filters in it to help with that, but I also just wanted to up my game. So when I bought my new laptop, I also bought a Blue Yeti microphone. It cost about $110, something like that, and we're going to be using it in future reviews, so hopefully my voiceovers will sound a lot better for you. Now as far as the laptop, I didn't get a gaming laptop. I didn't get anything overly sophisticated or expensive. I got me a new Gateway, which Gateway was what my old one was. They're perfectly fine for just general work. It's got GIMP on it and a bunch of other stuff, and of course Sony Vegas. I got a 17-incher this time. Again, it's not a gaming laptop, didn't really need that, just needed something for video production, so that's what I bought. Paid less than $500 for it, it was on sale. And here's my newest gaming pickups. We'll start with handheld stuff. Game Boy Advance. I got Golden Sun, you see right there, and I got Mario and Luigi, and this is the one I was really excited about. I got Gunstar Superheroes. Really excited about this one. Next up, Vita. I don't know why, but I've been on a Vita buying kick lately. I got Ragnarok Odyssey Ace. I got Killzone Mercenaries. I got Persona 4 Golden. I got Demon Gaze, which is kind of an old-fashioned RPG dungeon crawler like Shining in the Darkness or Wizardry or what have you, but with, of course, an anime flair. And I got the Vita version of the Final Fantasy X X2 Collection Remaster. So those are my Vita pickups that I've made recently. There's a couple of other Vita JRPGs I want to pick up too when they... one of them's already out and a couple others are coming out soon. I'm a big JRPG fan, as I've mentioned before, so that's the main thing that I play on handhelds is JRPGs. Haven't picked up a lot for NES lately. I've only picked up two. I got Hudson Hawk, really piece of shit game, but it was missing from my collection. It's a common, it ain't worth nothing, but I was missing it, so I picked it up. And another one that's not an uncommon or a rare, but I was missing it, is Rockin' Ball, which it's a pinball game. So those are my two new NES pickups. I've made 3 recent Genesis pickups, only one of them being an uncommon. The other 2 are commoners. And that's Sword of Sedan, piece of shit game, but I love the blood and gore and it's hilarious. And Shadow of the Beast, which is a classic that's getting ready to have a remake coming out for the PS4 and I believe the Xbox One as well. And then the uncommon. You ready for this? Check this out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Hyperstone Heist, complete in the box with manual and everything. This one I'm really happy about. I still don't have Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo yet. I'll be picking that one up soon. But this was definitely one that I'd been looking forward to getting for a while, and I finally snagged it. So happy about that. PS3 pickups. I only made one recently, and it was from a fan who requested it. And I happened to be at the Gamers Alley. Once again, I go there about once a week. And they actually had a used copy and sold it to me for $6.99. This is supposed to be the worst game released in the 7th generation. I have not played it yet. I'm going to find out though, and that is Ride to Hell. So I'm going to put myself through this torture for you guys, and I will film the results. I'm not expecting greatness. Next up, movies. I only picked up 2 movies recently, and that is the 3D edition of Godzilla on Blu-ray. Loved this movie. And the 3D edition of Captain America 2. So those are my new movie pickups. Xbox One pickups. Nothing. Haven't bought shit. Only new one out recently was Titanfall, and didn't give a shit about Titanfall. I buy all my multiplats on PS4. Of course, I'm looking at Forza Horizon 2, I'm looking at Sunset Overdrive, and I'm looking at the Halo Remastered set. Those will probably be the next pickups I make for it, because Xbox One's going to be an exclusive only machine for me. I did purchase an Xbox game, the original Xbox. I got the reboot of The Bard's Tale, which you can also get on PS2, but the Xbox version looks better than the PS2 version, so I got it on Xbox instead. Now, I've made that point clear to you guys before. I liked the original Xbox. It was still a fail, but I liked it. There's some great games on it, like Knights of the Old Republic being one that stands out, Jade Empire, Shenmue 2. There are some great games on that system. And so, you know, I enjoy that one, and I still buy for it when I come across one that I'm missing. But anyway, PS4 pickups. But despite the crappy reviews, this was on clearance, and so I picked it up. This is Bound by Flame for PS4. And also, because I already had the first 2 in the series, I picked up the new Transformers game. And I picked up, of course, Diablo 3. I love the Diablo series, but you know what? This is going to sound crazy to you PC guys. I know this. But what Diablo 3 makes me realize is how much I miss the Champions of Norath series on PS2. Come on, SOE. Come on, Sony. Give us a new Champions of Norath on PS4. I'm asking for it. I'm demanding it. I want a new Champions of Norath. Resurrect that series. Let's bring it back. It ain't going to be that expensive to develop. The original didn't have anything in the way of big flashy cutscenes or any of that crap. It was pure game. Let's go. Let's get it going. Get that sucker out. I want to play it. But anyway, that's my PS4 pickups. Now we're going to get into some older stuff, and this is going to segue into some advice on retro game collecting. How you collect depends on what your motivation is. If you're collecting because you want a collection that's going to skyrocket in value, then you're not the type of collector that I am, and I can't really give you a whole lot of advice there. There are guys out there who, when they buy a game, one, they're looking at its rarity, they're looking at what it currently retails for, and they will go to garage sales and yard sales looking for some poor old grandma whose son went to college 20 years ago and left a box of games up in the attic, and she don't know what she's got and what she don't, so she sticks $1 each on all of them and sits them out on the table, and you go and you flip through them and you find that rare game that's worth a couple $100. You don't tell her. You just buy the whole box so she thinks she's really done something great, and then you take the ones you already got and you trade them in, and then you take the one that was worth $200 and you go and get it graded. What they also do is there's guys out there that they won't buy it unless it has all the original packaging, so they can go and get it graded, and then they put it in some airtight plastic case and never take it out. That's not me. I'm a gamer. I want to play these games. I don't just want to look at them on the shelf. So if I'm looking at a game that I really want, and I see that I can buy it disc only with no case and no manual for 30 bucks, or I could buy one that's full complete, like new, for 150 bucks. I'll spend the 30 bucks and take care of the packaging myself, because even me, who mainly only cares about being able to play the games, even I want it to look good when it's on the shelf. And just having a disc in a plain jewel box looks like shit. If you've watched any of my old collection videos, you'd see I had this big old stack of Sega CD games that had no labels on them or no nothing. It's like 20-something games that was just compressed into a space this big simply because I didn't have the original cases for them. And recently, I've come up with a way around that to where things still look good. There's a website that you can go to, well, several websites you can go to on the web where you can buy blank DVD jewel boxes, the same ones that your movies come in, and get you some high-grade paper. You can go to a website called www.thecoverproject.net, and they have both original scans of front and back covers for games and custom covers for games that, say for example, would have originally come in a regular CD jewel box, but this is a custom cover for putting the game in a DVD jewel box. And once you print them out, if you've got a good quality printer and you slide that cover in there, even though that game might never have been released retail in a DVD case, it looks like something you bought in a store. It looks brand new, and it gives it a uniformity on the shelf. You know, everything just kind of looks symmetric and clean and neat, instead of having all these different shaped boxes. And the worst offenders are the Sega CD games and the Sega Saturn games and the original games that came out for the PS1. That, you know, they came in those big ginormous plastic cases where the hinges would break, and the little clasps that hold the disc, you just give it the slightest nudge and the disc would fall off and get all scratched up inside the case, and the front and back were really prone to getting easily scratched up and cracked and broken. And so even if I do find a game for one of those, and that's in one of those type of cases that's complete, I will still get a DVD case, print a cover, and put it in that, and then I put the original boxes in storage. Simply because they break so easy and they get damaged so easy, and they take up a lot of space on the shelf. And then with Sega CD, you had some games that came in a cardboard case with just a jewel box in it. So you had all these different kind of shapes of cases, and then with PS1, some of the big boxes, some of them jewel boxes, that it's hard to have everything look uniform on your shelf because you got 3 or 4 different size boxes on there. So this is what I came up with, and I wanted to show you. I'm just going to start out with a Sega Saturn game, and this is an uncommon. It'll cost you disc only about $50. If you want it in the original box with the manual and everything, it's well over $100. And it's a Japanese RPG exclusive to the Saturn. It's called Shining the Holy Art. And if you look at this, I made this myself. This is a DVD jewel box, and if you look at it, it looks nice and clean. It's all one piece. It's got the back stuff on it too, and it looks like something you would have bought in store. And then of course you open it up, and there's the original games, not a bootleg. This is the real deal. See there? That's the original disc. It's not a bootleg. It's not something I burned myself. And you can print these out. You can buy these boxes 100 to a case for about $30. And let me tell you, they look really fantastic on the shelf, and it saves you a lot of money as opposed to buying the original boxes. All you have to do is make sure that you find a disc that doesn't have any scratches on it and doesn't have disc rot. Disc rot is the worst. Now what disc rot is the stuff on the inside of the disc that's bound between the 2 layers of plastic. If it's exposed to too much sunlight, too much oxygen and whatnot, that stuff starts to corrode on the inside of the disc. And the way you can tell if you've got disc rot or not is you just hold the disc up to a light like this. And if you see any little pin pricks where the light is shining through the disc, so it looks like you can actually see through a little hole in the disc, that's disc rot. and that'll make your disc skip all over the place, and eventually, as that advances, it'll make it unplayable. Now, they'll tell you that these discs have a shelf life of 30 years or what have you. I've got CDs that are well, on their way to being that old, music CDs from when I was a teenager. Still play like new. You just have to put them away. Don't be one of those gamers that takes the disc out of the system, sits it on the counter, and pops another one in, and then just leaves the disc sitting there. Take the game out, put it in the case, put the shelf back up, put it back up on the shelf, take the other game out. Never have more than one game out at a time. That way you don't get tempted to leave some big stack of discs lying on your entertainment center, because that shit will cause disc rot worse than anything you ever saw. It'll ruin your fucking discs. Take the disc out, put it in the box, put it back on the shelf. They'll last a long, long time. Trust me on this. Now, here's another example. Here's another rare RPG. This one, again, if you bought it complete in the box, would cost you over $100. This is Vi for the Sega CD. Now, again, look at the case. Now, this one, this was a Working Designs RPG, and for you guys that haven't been collecting all that long, Working Designs was the Xseed of their day. They would bring out special editions of games that they had converted over or brought over from Japan and recorded English dialogue and all that for it. And they would come out with these special editions back before there was really anyone else doing special editions. They were one of the pioneers of it. And they would have these nice foil covers, these reflective foil covers, and the manuals were full color and had new original artwork and had production design notes. And sometimes they come with a cloth map and other little doodads, one of the most famous ones being Lunar for the PlayStation 1, when they brought it to the PlayStation 1. That was a really popular, sought-after collector's edition. But this same company brought this game over. It's a really great classic-style turn-based JRPG for the Sega CD. And again, you look here, it's even got the Working Designs logo right here. And just looks nice and neat. And you got your cover with all the original text and artwork. And again, it looks like something you bought in a store. Another example. Now this one is really good. For you guys out there who are TurboGrafx 16 collectors, you will find that the cheapest way to buy a TurboGrafx 16 is just to buy the HuCard. There's no one out there that's selling replacement TurboGrafx 16 cases that have the little slot that the HuCards go into. There's just not. All you can get are custom-made ones where you carve off the little spindle that the disc goes in, and you stick some little Velcro in there, and you stick the other piece of the Velcro on the little plastic sleeves that the games used to come in, and you're basically Velcroing it into a regular CD case, and then you print the replacement labels. I don't like to do it that way. It just doesn't look as good. So I still go with the DVD boxes. So as you can see, this is one of my rarest. People are always asking me, what's some of my most valuable games. This is one of my more rare games. This is Jackie Chan Action Kung Fu for the TurboGrafx 16. I have it for the NES as well. And as you can see, it's got the TurboGrafx logo on it. It's got the name of the game. You look on the back, it's got screenshots, it's got text. And this one I actually made myself because they didn't have one on the coverproject.net. So I got some high quality images off of Google, took one of the other covers they did have as a template, and with GIMP just replaced all the stuff with the original text and my own pictures that I got off Google. And here's how you deal with it as far as TurboGrafx 16 games. It's real simple. When you open it up, HuCard is held in place by the little clip where the instruction manual would normally go. They don't slide out, they don't get damaged. You just take it, slide it in, doesn't go anywhere. See? Doesn't slide out, holds it right in place without damaging the game. Saves you a lot of money. I paid $50 for this with no case and no manuals, just the HuCard, $50. That was a year ago. Now, in just a year's time, if you go looking at the pricing on it, say on Amazon.com, HuCard only, $180. If you like to play, if you like to do more than just look at them on a shelf with the intention of eventually selling it all for some big cash payout, like you're buying fucking stock and you're just waiting for it to go up to sell for a profit, then what I'm telling you right now is not for you. But if you're someone that regularly plays your games and you want them to look nice, but you don't necessarily care whether it's the original casing or not, this is the way to go. You will save a lot of money doing it this way. That's the way I do it, and they look really nice on the shelf, let me tell you. So, I'm going to be recording some footage for some new reviews, and those will be coming soon. I still have a few things to finish setting up on my laptop. Not quite there yet, but it's getting there. Just got a couple of little things left to set up. I got to reinstall the Hauppauge software so I can do video capture, and then I'll be ready to go. So hopefully starting next week, I will have some reviews for you guys to see. Mostly retro stuff, maybe a PS4 game, maybe this horrible PS3 game, depending on how far I get into it. We'll have to see, but I'll definitely have some kind of review up next week. So until then, guys, this is 7th.